Hello, 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 beautiful creatures of the world, and welcome back to Coffee with Kerri-Lynn. We got the gnomes today. I've been collecting gnomes. It's fun. They make me happy. I have them all over the house. People walk in, they smile, I smile watching them smile, they smile watching the gnomes. It's great. I've even been making gnomes and going around town, and I have gnomes in my purse, and I hand somebody a gnome. I've been knitting them, and I hand somebody a gnome, and their face lights up, and that's what it's about. It's about joy. It's about happiness. It's about making people happy, making people smile, putting some beauty into the world, being creative, being kind. That's what it's about. It's about the human experience, not human transactions, human experiences. And the big part of that is compassion and happiness. A good friend once told me my greatest asset was I make people smile. I make people laugh. I make people smile. And now here I am. Maybe I'm making you laugh. Maybe I'm making you smile. Maybe I'm not. Whatever. Be a curmudgeon. I don't care. So I want to get down to some business. Yesterday, I screwed up the giveaway explanation. Okay? I'm going to do this short and sweet. I had brain fog yesterday. Got some things a little confused. It happens. Some days I'm on my A game. Other days I'm worse shit. So there you go. The giveaway. I will be going around to local small businesses in the county. 12 months in the year, 12 gifts, 12 prizes. And I will be purchasing things that make me happy, make me smile, strike my fancy, hit a whimsy, whatever. They'll be decorative items. They could be utilitarian items, whatever floats my boat that day that I'm out doing we do small business Saturday shopping every single Saturday. So there you have it. And I will, like I said, I'm going to be hitting the local small businesses in the county. I'm going to be hitting the winter farmers markets and the summer farmers markets. And then at the end of every month, I'm going to be giving the prize to you guys, my subscribers. There's a hook. There's always a catch. There's a but. You need to be subscribed to win. My goal is to get 50 subscribers every month. This channel is not monetized. I don't care about monetization. Monetization. There we go. We spit it out, Kerri. Finally, geez. Yes, I really don't care about being monetized. What I'm trying to do with this channel is create community. People have forgotten how their great-grandparents lived, how their great-grandparents lived, how their grandparents lived. The closest we've come to living like we're going to be living now is in the 70s when there was a big back to the land movement, and most of that was voluntary. And then came the gas crisis. And I can remember, I was in first or second grade, and I can remember my parents having to put in the garden because everything got expensive, clothes and food and oil. And that winter, the house was a little cooler. Put on a sweater. That was my mother's thing. Just put on a sweater if you're cold. I don't want to hear about it. Get your sweatshirt on. Wear your mittens. Wear your mittens at the table. It don't matter. And that's how they had to do it. So with the craziness in the world, this channel is, I need to get up in the algorithms to reach more people, to share my day-to-day life. And my day-to-day life happens to be very old school. I run a homestead. We live off the grid. And people don't know how to do that. People need all this fancy technology in order to make their life work. And they don't understand how to live life when they don't have the technology that they want that makes things easier. So maybe I spark somebody's imagination and creativity with the video. Maybe, people always wondering, how to can something. And I'm not going to teach you how to can, but I'll show you me canning jelly or whatever. And it might spark an interest in somebody who didn't have an interest, and prices are going up in the market, and maybe they can do the same thing. So they got on the Google, or they go find a YouTuber who will actually teach them how to do these things instead of just watching me do it. And they'll learn something, because you got to learn something new every day. That's been a motto in my life for all of my life. You have to learn new skills. You have to learn new things. And if you can learn one new thing every day, no matter how big or small it is, if you can learn one new thing every day, then you expand your horizons and you grow. You grow creatively, you grow spiritually, you grow mentally, you grow emotionally, and you just have a different understanding of the world. You don't need entertainment. You understand how to entertain yourselves and do things for yourself and become self-sufficient. With that said, people are always asking me about homesteading. Kerri, what makes a successful homestead? That's today's business. I don't know. There's no magic key for the lock. Successful homesteader, successful homesteading. It's not one size fits all. What works for me is not going to work for you. What works for me is not going to work for my neighbor. We have different goals, different interests, different needs. You know, a lot of it's family size. You need to address family needs. You have to, first and foremost, you have to address your marriage, okay? You can't have a relationship where one person wants to homestead and one person doesn't, but they're going to go along to get along to keep the relationship together. Okay, it doesn't work like that. You both have to be on the same page, like anything in life, okay? And anything in your relationship, everything in your marriage. Everything, every aspect needs to be decided as a couple. That's the first trick of life. When you're in a marriage or you have a relationship, is everything, every goal has to be discussed. Every want, every need, every whim has to be discussed. Okay, so that's the first thing. It's 101 relationships. You are in a relationship, you're in a marriage. You cannot just go do your own thing anytime you want. Doesn't work like that. You have to talk to your wife, you have to talk to your husband, and you have to say, I want 3 kids. And they have to say, well, I only wanted 1 kid. And then either a compromise has to be made or a different avenue has to be taken. Same thing with a person who gets married and says to you, I do not want children, and yet you proceed to marry them and you want children. That marriage is not good. You're not going to make them come around. So just stop. Just stop. And that marriage is destined for failure. You have to want the same thing. You have to want the same goals. You have to work together. Couples that build together succeed. Bear in mind, homesteading is a lifestyle. It's not a whim. It's not a whimsy. It's not a fly-by-night thing. Homesteading is a lifestyle. It's 24/7 work. It's not romantic, okay? It's in all weather conditions. Your animals need to eat. Your barn needs to be dealt with. Your barn needs to be hayed. Your barn needs to be, the shit needs to be shoveled out the door. And it doesn't matter if it's 40 below or 110 degrees. Your animals need to be dealt with. Their comfort and their food and their water. If you're sick, you got to drag ass out there. That's it. That's the way homesteading goes. When homesteading goes right, it is heaven on earth. Every day that goes right is heaven on earth. Every day that there is not a monumental upset, it's perfect. And you can come inside in the winter and kick your feet up by the fire and have your hot chocolate or a cup of moon milk and rest your head on your pillow. And it was a long day. It was a good day. You can, on a good day, you know, sitting out in the wellness and meditation room in our outback, and we watch the fireflies, and it is perfect. It is heaven on earth. On the bad days, it sucks shit. Okay. We had a coon attack last year. We ended up losing 2 chickens to the coon attack. There were 2 coons that got in, raccoons. And we were sick with COVID, and we really don't know how it happened, but they got into the coop and they took out 1 chicken, and we had to take out the other one that was so badly injured. So those are bad days, and those are miserable days, and they do happen. And, you know, that's life, liberty, and the pursuit of homesteading happiness. You're up at the ass crack of dawn. In the winter, I'm up before the sun comes up. Birds go to bed 5 o'clock. The bunnies go to bed 6, 7 o'clock. Depends on how feisty they get. And I like extra playtime with them too. Just depends on the day. And all that's got to be done while you're cooking supper. And then you got to eat supper. In the summertime, birds go to bed at 9 o'clock. So you're up at the ass crack of dawn as the sun is peeking out. And your birds are going to bed at 9 o'clock at night. You're tired. You've been working all day. You've been in the garden. You've been doing all your farm chores. You've been in the garden. You've had to take care of all the animals, all the kids, everything. You get your physical health because you got to go and you got to take your walks and you got to eat right, and everybody's got to be fed. And then your bird still ain't in bed at 9 o'clock at night. You can't close that coop down until they're all home. Oh, and then how about the nights where the birds decide that they're going to wander off into the woods a little bit, and you got to go in the woods and fetch them and put them back in the coop. These things happen. So you got your good days, you got your bad days, but they're all long days and they're all working days. And the key to success is to be available for your homestead 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and be prepared to do the work, because people are not prepared to do the work. People are not prepared not to take a vacation. They think they can start a homestead and go to Hawaii. No, you can't. You can't do it. You can't do it. When we do go on vacation, we go for weekend jaunts. And I do have somebody who is very knowledgeable. They own their own farm, and they send their kids down to do my farm. They let my birds out. They let my birds in. They feed my birds. They're farm kids, and they know what they're doing. But I don't go away for long. We leave on a Friday. We're home on a Sunday. That's it. That's the way it works. That's the way it works. You don't get a vacation. In the beginning of it, he go on, and a lot of times now he goes, because he tries to travel a little bit for business, so he goes on the travel and I stay home with the homestead. And sometimes that sucks. And you're looking at your life ahead of you and going, this is going to be the rest of my life. They're always going to do, and I'm going to stay home, or we're going to go together, and it's going to get very complicated. And the whole time we're gone, we're worried about what's going on at the house, and did the person live up to their expectations? And we've had that happen too, where caregiver was supposed to give care and didn't, and got hooked up with their friends. My own child, just so that you know, supposed to watch the dogs, got hooked up with their friends, and the dogs spent the night by themselves one night. Well, not a happy woman, but that's that. And those are the ups and downs of homesteading, and you got to be prepared to face them head on. You got to know what you want out of your homestead. Can you handle livestock, big livestock, little livestock? Can you handle a big garden or a little garden by yourself? Is your partner your husband or wife going to be there on their time off to help you garden? Oh, makes a difference. It absolutely makes a difference growing your own food, whether you have 2 people working in the garden, 4 people working in the garden. Are you gonna recruit your children to pull weeds and water, and then I'll have to listen to all that sass all the time, and the under the breath, when kids don't want to do something, they tuck it under their breath, and yep, all kinds of fun times with children on a homestead. And growing a decent amount of food, that ain't easy. Absolutely not. That's not easy. We follow our pantry, basically we follow the Latter-day Saints LDS food pantry storage. We follow their guidelines. There's a lot of math to it. LDS, you just Google Latter-day Saints or LDS food storage on Google, and they give you poundage, what you should have pounds per person put away. We're not doomer preppers, so I don't do a lot of what I follow the poundage, but I do a lot of what we like. Not we don't eat black beans, not gonna buy them. We don't eat lentils, not gonna buy them. I'm gonna pack my food pantry with things that we like, things that we eat, things that we use. I'm not gonna buy a bunch of sardines. Nobody here eats them. So I don't care how expensive sardines get at the market. We're not eating them. I'm not buying them. We're not eating them, because we don't eat them on a regular basis. And that's a big mistake that people make homesteading, because you can't grow enough food. Maybe some of you can. We can't grow enough food for sustainability on a big level. So we buy in cans at the store, because I'd rather have store-bought stuff added to what I can off my garden than have what I can off my garden and not enough. and those are decisions that you have to make as a homesteader, as a couple. Like I said, it's just like any marriage. If you don't want children and you marry somebody who wants children, this thing ain't gonna work. And it's the same thing with homesteading. If you want a big homestead and your spouse wants a small homestead or no homestead, it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. So that's how we do it. We follow the Latter-day Saints, the LDS Food Storage put up, and then we put up what we like, what we are willing to eat, what we will eat. Now, because there's 2 of us that live on the homestead, kids are grown and gone and have their own children and their own spouses and their own lives. So we don't have all that big extra amenity. We can't sustain extra people. It's just the way it is. We can't sustain them off of our garden or as live-ins. They can't move in, and I can't sustain them off my pantry for long. You can come for a visit, you can come for a vacation, but I can't take you in to live. You got to come with your own things and add them to the pile in the pantry. And that's just the way it is. And people have a lot of trouble. The neighbor always coming, or the kids always coming home, can I borrow a cup of sugar, whatever it is. And people have a lot of trouble saying no. And that's another big thing with homestead. You got to learn your limitations, and you got to learn no, the word no. If you don't know your limitations, if you are continually giving everything you have, then it's going to break down and it's not going to work for you. I think the most successful key to homesteading is being on the same page in your marriage. Understanding homesteading is expensive. My birds and my bunnies, the fiber from my bunnies goes into their feed when I sell it, and the eggs from the chickens goes into their feed and their hay, and we do pretty good. They basically pay for their month's worth of feed. I have to add a little extra. We have an outside source of income. Plus, we both own our own businesses that work from the homestead. So, there's got to be a lot of money flow, and you do have to have an outside source of income because everybody's got to eat. You can't run out of money. And with whether you're self-employed or not, or you just want to do everything via your homestead, when you run out of money, when you're self-employed, there's good times and there's bad times. And the bad times is when you run out of money and the bills keep coming. And the other thing with homesteading is decide what you want to do. Do you want to live off grid, or do you just want to have a homestead? You can have electric and have a homestead. It's okay. Now I know a lot of people that homestead. They live self-sufficiently as possible. They have we sustain about 85% of our lifestyle we sustain on our homestead. And the other 20% we have to buy in. And that's just the way it is. I don't grow wheat, so I don't make flour. I have to go buy it. I don't grow sugar cane, so I have to buy sugar. Things like that. And you learn your limitations and you learn your ways. But I think it really all boils down to being on the same page in your marriage. And we firmly believe that the couple that builds together succeeds together. That's our philosophy. So to me, that's the golden ticket. That's the key that opens the magic lock. Be on the same page. Be good to each other. Grow together. Build together. And have your success. And that's it. That's my advice for homesteading. So I'm glad that you guys joined me. Smash the like button if you like the video. Subscribe. Get your friends to subscribe. Share. And let's build a community, guys. Peace out. Have a good day.